Today I have a few things that I would love to address, and this is going to be the beginning of our calls. And as time goes on, our calls might be a little bit longer, but it's imperative that we begin to address the issues that are facing us as a people, because nobody is going to be able to solve these issues except us. Nobody would solve them except us. Today I was going through, not today, I think that was yesterday, I was going through some news that popped up on my phone, and I saw that Ibrahim Traore was just launching some indigenous drones. And that got to me. And I was very much happy that as a country, and not only that, I think on Friday also, while I was reading through, I came by the news that Ibrahim Traore, that is the military president of Burkina Faso, has actually cut ties entirely with France. And it gladdened my heart because this young man is 38 years. And I know why I'm talking about his age, because later on we are going to use that to actually make Nigerians understand that power is not given, but you take power. He became the president of, or the really military leader of Burkina Faso at the age of 35. That is about 3 years ago, and has suffered a lot of assassination attempts. And this past Friday, they officially severed their ties with France, because now they have taken the decisive efforts to bear the destiny of their country in their hand. And why this guy gives me a lot of confidence, gives me a lot of joy as a military leader and as a leader in Africa, not just that we call him military leader, making it look like the government is bad. Not really, because I am always of the opinion that the best form of any government is that the said promises to the people are delivered, of which Nigerian government right now is failing on every element of government. If a government can give people security, can lay down the platforms for development by protecting life and properties, provide infrastructures, provide legislations that make politics and make the infrastructure and the industrial playground even for people, then the government is meeting its objectives. And where there is no corruption, there is no looting of the people's resources, where there is no nepotism, you would attest that there is no singular best form of government that anybody can ever talk about and say, this is the best form of government in this universe. Why? Because culture is different. People's way of life is different. We are Igbos. I'm Igbo by nature. I'm proud to be. The form of government that we had is not the same that the West had. It was never the same also with the North. But we all governed ourselves and we all lived in peace before colonization. The way an Igbo person is going to approach politics is not the same way that a Western person, Yoruba, is going to do, not the North. It's not the way United States will. It's not the way Israel will. It's not the way Iran will. It's not the way Turkey will. It's not the way Putin, or let's say traditionally, that maybe Russia would want to, in as much as the government has always been changed by different ideologies. It's not the way China is. The one thing that I am stating by all of this is that you cannot proudly stand up like the West do to tell us that this is the best form of government in any part of the world. And I have my own personal definitions for democracy. Democracy does not mean that it must be administered, that everybody must, have a general election per se. But democracy, if the definition is government of the people, by the people, for the people, I agree to that. But the question is going to be, how do you administer this government? We are Republicans by nature. Every Igbo man is a Republican. We're for the state by nature. We want our voices heard. We want the government to represent us. And that is the reason why we had chiefs. And every chiefs had to go back to the community, to their kindred or clans that they govern, and understand their opinion and take those opinions. So it was a representative government that you vote from ground down to the Igwes or the kings. And each of the kings came together to decide on how they rule their government, their people. Per se, in nature, we did not have long governance. Our political structure was not that way. We ruled by kings. Every community or every, geographical area had rankings in their kings. And communities developed. But the people were carried along. If you were a chief, you earned it. And if you do not speak for the people, you were going to get revolt. That is the reason why they tell you that Igbos don't have king. Because you cannot enforce your kingship upon every Igbo man. So long as you don't feed the person, there is level of rights that you cannot exercise over the person. And that means representative government. So if anybody wants to hold on to power, if there will be change in Africa, if there is going to be change in Nigeria, then we must have to take the power by ourselves. Why Burkina Faso is busy taking the destiny of the country by force, Nigeria is where we are, borrowing money from every nook and cranny without accountability, without letting the people know what these finances are going to be used for, without people seeing the value of this infrastructure, the value of this money that is being borrowed. And now, currently, we are talking about even what IMF has warned. Nigeria right now has collected the first $1.5 billion loan from UAE, and it is actually a $5 billion loan. They are yet to collect the remaining 3.5. And a lot of people have begun to give analysis of how bad this loan is. But a few things that I want to bring back today is that if Nigeria must be free, then there must be a wake-up call that people understand that the people that are in politics are not better than you. It's always going to be a very wrong assumption for you to wake up in the morning and think that because they're in the political class that they're better than you. No. And I will tell you, that's the reason why I was talking about the age of Ibrahim Traore, that you can call one of the youngest African presidents, African leaders that we have today. 38, he took power by 35. And that is the same age bracket most of the people that fought for our independence in Nigeria, those were their age bracket. Some of them were in their late 20s. Some in their early 30s. Very few you could find that were in their early 40s. So it's not a function of age. No Nigerians should look down on themselves and think that the politicians are better than any other person. They are not. Go and check most of the brilliant people, the first-class students that you could see in the universities. Where are they today? They're all probably as lecturers. And they're still being ruled by those that they called touts, who left school with third class. Some of them never finished graduation. Some never went to the four walls of universities. But they are in the government offices detecting what happens for you in your country, detecting how your mineral resources are being used, looting everything up and down without thinking about your future, why they are securing the future of their children outside the country, and you still pay homage to these politicians. Are you okay? Do you think something is right with you? What makes you think that your local government chairman is better than you? What makes you think that the governor is better than you? Why do you elevate the people in these offices as if they are not humans? Why? And the things that the very dark man is doing today that I give him accolade for, because he has worked for it. And he deserves also to be respected. Some people may look at him and you're not going to give him the respect that he needs simply because you don't see him in suit, or maybe because you see him he's not a Christian or he's not a Muslim, so you can say, or maybe because he has professed that he's a traditional person. But the amount of liberation that he has given to many Nigerians, fought for people selflessly without demanding for anything. Ask me today, the pattern and the life of very dark man, is it different from Fela Kuti? The man that we respect so much. Would you say that he did not fight for Nigerians who went to UK to study, came back and began to sing for revolution? And the shrine, what did he wear? Pants up and down. painted himself, but his message still went across. Why would we not respect him? Who has attire helped? Our forefathers who fought for our freedom, what were they wearing? When the whites came to steal, to deceive them, didn't they meet them in their states? I was listening to somebody yesterday that, the man wore the traditional African attire, which was made with animal skins, and he was coming and he was talking. He said, if a white man looks at me, he says, you are looking dirty, because he's wearing leather, traditionally sewn. But he said, the same leather you wear in your shoes, the same leather you put in your cars, the same leather that you sit on your cars, animal skins, what makes the difference? Is it the finishing that makes you more glorified? And this is not a take on white people. No, it's not. The area that I'm going is this. It is the people of every nation that determine the destiny of their nation. You cannot allow your life to be ruined by the so gullible people, few of them in government, that have decided to mortgage the future of even our unborn children. You cannot let that. And this is the reason why every culture that makes you not to, in fact, I don't want to use curse words. Sometimes my blood boils when I talk about Nigerian politics. It is wrong. Just imagine disrespect culture that we have, especially our brothers from the West, that makes you think that because somebody is an elderly person, you cannot call them out because they're of age. Is the reason why even in Yoruba language, we have words like abaya. Abaya was formed from old, wicked or callous, old men. So there is still a language to call them out. Would you say because you are young, your uncle takes your father's properties, that you will not ask questions? Would you say because you're young, if your uncle comes and approaches you into your house and he's slapping you up and down, trying to throw you out of your house, that you will not fight back, then you're a coward? We must end these ideologies that the politicians are better. We must end these ideologies that they're in an exalted position. Most of them have stolen their way all through. If you see any career politician who left school, some of them just left school, they started following other politicians, you could see that all the wealth they have accumulated all their life, there was no business they were doing before they got into office. They are nothing better than thieves. If you've seen them, with all their multi-million dollars, they are nothing but thieves. It's the reason why the biggest problem that we have on this earth are career politicians who are controlled by either businessmen or people with dark intentions. The biggest problem that you have in politics is career politicians who do not have money yet try to compete in terms of resources with people that are in business. And this is the reason why, like the founding fathers of America, did all their possible best to separate power and money. Because if you're in politics, then you shouldn't have the money. It is very dangerous to hold power and at the same time hold resources. It's very intoxicating. Look at the amount of borrowing. What a shameless country that we find ourselves in. And you that is on the streets, you keep on celebrating these people. Who does it help where the president of Nigeria comes from? When Yar'Adua was the president of Nigeria and we saw how the economy was going, everybody rejoiced. It does not matter where he came from. Because the benefit of you and I as a common person in every political regime or time is the benefit that it offers us. It does not matter where the leader comes from. We can begin to cry and agitate if the leader in office, irrespective of his region, does not offer the benefits of government. Then there is a reason for agitation. And there will not be any subverting to this, that there will not be any means that will shut the people up. We must talk. Because that is the only way to officially register our cry outs, basically to say. It's the only way we can let our voice be heard. It's the only way we can register our pains. Because people must speak, people must protest. There must be civil disobedience. If political oppressions don't stand to the manifestos that they have given us. Why should you in the street find yourself praising politicians who have looted every... Listen, God made you and God put the things that you need to survive on earth. They're not coming from heaven. No matter how much we pray, prayer is good. No matter how much we pray, the things that you need to succeed are on earth. And that is the reason why after God made the world, he looked at everything and he said it is beautiful. And it was indeed beautiful. Nothing was lacking, nothing was missing. So when Adam needed healing, he plucked the herbs. When Adam needed food, he got it from the ground. When he needed water, there was a place for water. God made man and put every resources that he has within the earth. Man was never to look up. After God had made all these things, he said, take dominion, control. Therefore, any human being who comes to you and takes the mineral resources and allows you from famine has taken all the basic elements of your life. Because if you find yourself in a country, there is gold, there is lithium, there is petroleum, and then you have good arable, ground where you can plant, where you can harvest. Any government that takes control of these mineral resources and do not allow you to get the dividends from the processing of these mineral resources is a thief. They need to be held accountable because God has put these things behind, within your geography for you guys to live well. So if you're from an oil producing state, a great percentage of the oil product should stay with you. If Nigeria is mining gold anywhere, a great percentage of that gold should stay with them, and it has to be legal. If you're good in agriculture, that was what Nigeria lived on and was doing well. UNN was built from all agricultural produce. From the money that we made from agriculture, we were very rich in agriculture. And many countries today are still thriving within, with agricultural produce. Why can't we export them? Why can't we make it better? Why can't we build tractors? Burkina Faso, a little country that just came up the other day, the Ibrahim Traore, they have always had leaders. They have had presidents, but nobody for many years has brought that country to limelight the way Ibrahim Traore is doing just in 3 years. Is Nigeria not ashamed? Our leaders not ashamed? And you ask yourself, who are they borrowing these things for? Who are they looting these things for? Buhari today is dead. All the atrocities that he committed to Nigeria, all the cluelessness we told everybody, even the North who massively voted and the West that voted. So to say, the ruins and the money that was borrowed under Buhari is not paid till today. Where is he? Old men ruling the life, keep destroying the life of younger people who have lives to live, who have years ahead of them. Even the unborn generation, their destinies have been sabotaged by criminals. If they could tell us how much there is enough, we can pay their families this amount of money that they need and ask them to leave power. We could give this money to their families and ask them to leave power. If they can say this is how much is enough for us to steal, if say this is how much we need for our lifetime, we could give them this money and have the future of the rest of the country savaged from this stooge. All of them in power who are standing to connive with the still colonial masters to continue to destroy Africa and Nigeria. And they are being aided by the foolishness of the people on the streets. If you talk tomorrow, they start creating religious divide. Don't you know that the North can be as good as Dubai? Don't you think that you guys can have road? Don't you think you could have electricity? Don't you think you can sleep in peace? Have you not seen other Muslim countries that are living good life? Do you think that Islam is evil to living a good life? You believe in Allah blesses people. Go and check Saudi Arabia. Even check Iran. Go to Qatar. I went to Qatar. That was one of the most beautiful airports that I've ever visited when I was in Doha. Look around. You could still practice your religion and live a good life. You are in the southeast. Go to church. You will still live a good life. Every God thinks good for their people. Whoever you serve, we've not seen a God that preaches destruction for their people. Go to Egypt. It's a Muslim country. Why would they not think and rise up and understand that they have become a tool of destruction to themselves because their leaders made it so? Your leaders have refused you to have good education. They won't build school, they won't build infrastructure, they will teach you well. Every money that comes to every state, every local government, every politician, they seize it and they keep you on the streets. And tomorrow they tell you that somebody is speaking up religiously against you. Can't you see that your destruction is coming from your leaders? If they take your resources, are they taking your senses? Dividing us all by religion, dividing us all by tribe. And yet, when we all travel outside the country and meet ourselves in another man's land, we all celebrate ourselves as Nigerians. But within the country, we cannot live in peace. Why? Because the few politicians who are dividing Nigeria still go to Abuja to live together and continue to loot. Every election period, they will come to remind you that you're not Yoruba. They will come to remind you that you're not Igbo. They will come to remind you that you are the North. They will come to tell you that this is a Christian and this is a Muslim. And they will keep on preaching it because it benefits their political ambition. Most of our founding fathers who started the fight for Nigerian independence started it in young age. Don't look down on anybody. And every of the people who are right now standing in gap, we thank God for social media. They must be recognized. It does not matter how you've traveled. It does not matter how you're learned. It does not matter what you wear. It does not matter your outfit. For anything that brings benefit and coerces the government to bring benefit to the people and surrender the rightful operations that government is supposed to deliver to the people, then such voices must be welcomed. The government must surrender the manifestos that they promised. They must surrender the agenda that they gave to the people. If they cannot meet it, they should not be in office. How many years has Mr. President right now to live? How many? If he lives so much, 100 years, everybody's celebrating. It's 80 plus, as people say, allegedly. I don't know how old he is. Maybe, I think the official age might be in the 70-something. But whatever. If people die in their 80s in Nigeria today, people don't cry so much. They say, thank God. If we die at 80, we say, thank God. If you die at 100, you've lived so long. For whatever it is, these people are closer to leaving us than staying with us. It doesn't mean that we will have, hold to life. Nobody knows tomorrow. We'll continue to lose young people these days through one thing or the other. But we're saying that life should be preserved for the younger generation in future. And you can't be looking down on yourself. And you can't be telling yourself that the politicians are better. You cannot find it absurd. You cannot continue to think that it's immoral to hold politicians to accountability. And you cannot continue to think that these people are more intelligent than you. They are all, most of them are criminals, I can tell you. Because if you probe them, the source of their evil has been your well-being that they have sabotaged. Tell me when Nigeria can finish borrowing, paying back all the money that is borrowed. Tell me when our GDP can ever change. Tell me when we can have security. The government of Nigeria right now cannot tell you that they don't know the sponsors of Boko Haram and all of these menace. If they do say that they don't know, then they're not fit to be in office with all the level of intelligence that we have. We have the national intelligence. We have DSS. We have police. We have military. We have navy. We have one of the best land armies in Africa. And yet, the perpetrators of this evil cannot be fished out. It's because they're all benefiting from it. Or maybe they have made arrangements that makes it difficult for them to talk. Because they have taken their own bargain and left the other bargain to the other side of the equation to handle. So they turn blind eyes because there is arrangement. Some people have given them their portion, and therefore there is nothing more that they can do than allow them to have their portion. Till today we speak, we know that all the minerals in the north are still being mined. Allegedly, as everybody have seen, they have talked, even the politicians have all spoken about it. The videos are everywhere to watch, and yet nobody is held accountable. Have you not asked yourself how all of these monsters are getting arms? I was watching VDM today. It's not VDM, Don Azar, basically. And he was bringing the English Alhaji, who had a play record of this Boko Haram or whatever you can call them that abducted a Nigerian military general, held him captive, and he died in their captivity. And the question is, what did the Nigerian military do? Nothing. Any rage? Nothing. They brought their cops and handed over. They saw them move back. Nothing. The young man was talking about how the people that sent it to go and kill him are his boys, who informed him of their every movement. And yet, as we speak right now, Sahara Reporters is also carrying that Nigeria is just 40 repentant Boko Harams are undergoing medicals to also join again the military. You tell me that it's not a conscious effort? We cannot let them continue to do it. I would like to pause here because the video is getting really very long, right? And we'll continue to be live. Thank you everyone for watching. One thing that I want you to go away from this is this: end the respect that you have for politicians who are very gullible, and know that you are capable. If there are leaders among you who are speaking up, we have to support. And we are going to continue to touch base until Africa is free. This election, they cannot have it. Nigeria must have change, and that change must be demanded. That change must be given, because power can never be surrendered without you putting a fight for it. Nigeria must change, and we must go and vote. Every vote will count because we protect it. Let me let you know that it is the vote that are stealing. If it is not important, there will not be elections. It's because of the importance of that vote is the reason why they put all apparatus in place to steal it. So vote and protect it. It is the only means that we have right now while we wait for the next. Thank you until next time. This is my 1 cent. Please share and subscribe. I remain your friend, Dr. Faith. Thank you.